Good morning from Seattle. This is Reba Haas of Team Reba, Remax Metro Eastside. And while I'm stuck in traffic on my way to D-Stage a condo today that we have closing on Monday, I thought I would share a little story that came up yesterday with one of my clients and give y'all a little advice. I talk all the time about how houses are like humans. And just like humans, your house needs maintenance, right? Just like it's good for you to work out so that your body stays in good shape. It's good for you to eat things that are correct for your body because it helps, the healthy things keep you healthy. The unhealthy things eventually make you unhealthy. You may not see it immediately, but compound effect, right? So I get a phone call. My clients who I sold this house in Tacoma to several years ago, about 5 years ago, I think, they came to one of my first time homebuyer classes. And I'm super excited to help them make that dream come true. Well, 2 years ago, they moved to Pennsylvania. And a couple of things here. While they changed the address for where their insurance information should go, they never changed the insurance policy because now they've been renting it out for 2 years. And I don't know if that's going to be a problem for them in this situation or not, but I want you to just put a pin in that and be thinking about that as I go on to the rest of the story. So they send me a text, say, hey, you got a few minutes? I always wonder when a client sends me, they're like, what am I about to find out? Because it's not always just because they love me so much they just want to have a conversation. It's usually because they need something and need some advice. So we get on the phone and the husband starts telling me about how they had a plumbing problem and he's thanking me for a recommendation for Pinky's Plumbing that I gave. A little shout out to Pinky's. I've worked with them myself. They've been great. I've recommended them to a couple of clients. And they've all had good experiences, which is awesome. But Pinky's was brought out for a couple of things. One, the wax ring on the toilet had failed, so there was water all over in the bathroom. So of course it was causing the subfloor to be damaged. And so they got that fixed. Okay. The second thing, and this is why the tenant really called. They called because their water bill went sky high. And that's never a good thing, but at least your water bill will give you a notice real fast. Because I've had this happen. I had a tenant in another place in Kansas once. My water bill went to $800 because the guy didn't bother to tell me that the toilet started just flushing on its own constantly. So you don't always get help from the utility company in those scenarios. So first of all, if you're a landlord, check in with your people and ask if there's things going on. I had somebody doing property management and I was like, how in the world? You'd be amazed how adaptive people are. This happened here too, because there's also the second problem that this client had was apparently some pinhole leaks had happened in some of the pipes underneath the house. This is an area you can't see. And so now the basement, or there's not even a basement, pardon me, the crawl space is now filled, with water going regularly because, water pressure coming from the street, it's always there. That's why when you turn on the tap, it's not like a pump where you have to do it old school style. It turns on, water pressure sends it out. So water has now gone all over in their crawl space. Not good. These are not good things. So they called out the plumber guy. He got underneath there. He took care of the problems. God love him. Great guy. And then he said, are you gonna call your insurance company? And I'm hoping for my client that this is a covered item. Hopefully their insurance company will not say, hey, you didn't let us know you moved out. Now, it's not a vacant property. Someone's been living there. The husband had actually been back visiting and had checked on it back in, I believe it was January or so. And again, because the tenant only saw the high water bill in this last billing cycle, it's been a relatively short period of time that this has been happening. But you have to be careful with insurance companies because they want to have any reason to shut you down and not pay a dime. So making sure you have the right policies, making sure that they're not going to say, hey, you weren't maintaining. This feeds directly into my recommendation that people have their houses, when you buy a house, you should get an inspection, period. And then you have a baseline of knowing what is there in your house, right? And then you can use that to budget from for long-term maintenance items, depending on what those things might be and the age of those things. And so if you're doing that, at least when a surprise like this shows up, you've got something, because it's not going to still be free for them. There's still going to be out-of-pocket costs, deductibles, that kind of thing. So my recommendation is get your house inspected at least at a bare minimum every 5 years, because stuff is going on. Just like as you grow older and things start to happen, maybe you've got some aches in your joints, maybe your weight needs to be monitored, maybe you've got potential for heart disease, so you need to be looking at what your health is there. Your house needs it too, because your house breathes, so your attic spaces and your crawl spaces where you don't go most of the time, those are the places that have the most issues. Things like your chimneys, most people don't go look at them, and they end up being big time problem areas for a lot of houses, because if you're not paying attention to it, water infiltration and then degradation of the system can happen, and that can become a very, very, very big problem over time. So anyhow, I'm just wanting to share what's real life with a lot of the people that I talk to, and how we work on making sure that their homes and their lives are better, and we look out for their financial situations, right? So anyhow, hope you all have a great rest of your day. Consider getting a home inspection if you haven't had one in a really long time, especially if your house is older, and especially if you've been in that house a long time and haven't done one since you bought it or at all. So have a great day.